Hello, welcome to today's video. Yes, today we are going to do something special, and I hope that this video will be very short for you because we want to introduce a concept to you, which is very critical for you to handle statistics. Yes, um, we talked about numerical data last time in our previous video, and then we talked about the other forms of data as well. And we believe that you understand discrete data and continuous data now. So building on that, we want to actually see based on how data is presented in tables or based on the way data is analyzed, the form in which data is before it is being analyzed with all the tools that we are going to learn. We have three different data types. Based on the way the final form in which the data is before we begin to analyze them, we have three different types of data. There are three which we want to look today. Your ability to identify these data types is key to before starting the process. That's why we said they are the forms of data in which they exist before they are analyzed. So if you don't identify the data types, whatever tools you are going to use, the tools that we use for analyzing the different data are different. So we will not be able to know which of the tools to use to analyze this data, and that data. So it's very essential to identify the data types first. It's very key. So we are going to focus on this video, try to understand and analyze, be able to analyze and identify data types. We said there are three. So let's look at those three. We have those three here. Yes, this is our data types. So we have data type 1, data type 2, and data type 3. Now, let's try to have a visual understanding of it and also try to set our own understanding, our own way of maybe grasping them from time to time. There are characteristics that defines each of them, which we want to look. So now for this data type 1, basically the basic difference you can see is that for data type 1, so actually this was something I captured from the Aquila. So you can see the same thing in your book. So if you see the data type, it's not like all these things are data types. So this is number 1, this is number 1, this is number 2, and this is number 3. So this linear arrangement of data, this one 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. This form of data is data type 1. Usually you will not see them in a table. So one characteristic that they are not in a table. So usually they are not in a table. You will not see them in any table. That's one characteristic. 2, so they are not ordered. They may not be ordered. May not be ordered here. May not be ordered. So you didn't put them any order. You just put the numbers there. There may be repetition of item. There may be repetition of item. Repetition of items. Yeah, so these are the characteristics of data type 1. So if you look at this one, this first one, there is not in a table, and then it's not ordered. 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, it's not ordered. And then they are so 2 and 2 are repeated. So we are seeing repetition of the same item. And then if you go to the number 2, the arrangement of item, all happen is that they are not in a table, all right. And then the items are not ordered. And here I don't see there is any repetition. That's why we say there may be repetition or there may not be. That's why I say may. Then the third one is also a data type 1. So you can see data type 1 is also over here. It's not in a table. So this is how to simply identify your data type 1. Data type 1 is simple to identify. The very first thing is that they are not in a table. Yeah, but don't stop there. You need to actually see these are not ordered and stuff. There may be repetition. They are not, but the major thing is that they are not in a table. Now, if you look at data type 2, data type 2 usually come in a table. It usually come in a table. Sometimes the data may not be given you in a table. You have to do the arrangement, put them in a table yourself. Sometimes the items are not in a table. You just give the data like that, and then you put them in a table before you begin to analyze. So data type 1 is something that we can also transform data type 1 to data type 2. But let's leave that here. We are just trying to identify data types for now. So for the data type 2, they are in a table. So data type 1, data type 2, so in a table as well. So they are in a table. In a table. And then what happens is that there is item against count. Items versus count. So the count is what we usually call the frequency. frequency. Yes. So items are single or let's say not in a range, not in a range of numbers. Yes, they are not usually in a range. So if you look at the data type 1, the data type 2, you see that it's in a table. All right, and now you have a number of accidents, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of drivers 15. So for 0 accident there are 15 drivers. For 1 accident there are 9 drivers. For 2 accidents there are 6 drivers. So for each accident, which are the items, right? There are a number of drivers that are involved in those number of items. So for 0 driver we are counting 15. For 1 accident we are counting 9. For 2 accident we are counting 6 drivers involved. So for there's item against count. The count is what we call the frequency. So basically the down here is the frequency. Frequency, we say in the previous video, is the number of items, or is the number of the item in a particular data. Yes. So and then we say the item are single. So if you look at the item, we have 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before we put the item against them. Now let's go to data type 3. For data type 3, what happens? Yes, in a table, all right, and the data is in the table. Then what do we have again? Still we have item against count, which is the frequency. And then the difference, the only difference here is the item are in a range. The items are in a range. So in a range, by me, if you look at these wages, for example, you see that 40 to 49. It's not like a whole number like how we have it for items over here. Item that has 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are not like that, but they are in a form of a range, 40 to 49. So 40 to 49, that's a range of numbers. Then for example, 60 to 69, 60 to 69, that's another range of numbers. So data type 3 usually come in this form. They don't come as one single, the items are not just one single number, but the items are in a range of numbers. That's how to identify data type 3. So that basically that's the general idea. We want to actually identify data type 3. So what you have to do now is go to your Aquila textbook or go through any of the mathematics textbook that's related to, that's have the WASI scope, or take the past question if you have the elective maths past question, or even the core maths past questions. Go to statistics and try to look at the questions, look at the section A to section B, look at the various data. Just make this exercise of trying to open the book and I want to identify, oh, this is data type 1, this is data type 2, this is data type 3. Yes, do that exercise in order to master how to identify the data types, because it's very critical for you to start doing your this thing. So it's very important for you to know your data types so that you can know that this is the 2 I'm going to use for this data type. This is the 2 I'm going to use for this data type. This is the 2 I'm looking for this data type. That's why we are going to take our time for this particular video to just identify the data types. So the thing that let's go over again. The thing that are going to help you to identify them is that data type 1, they are usually not in a table. So once they are not in a table, you see that, oh, data type 1 is likely to be happening. You have to see the items are not ordered. They may not be, there may be repetition or not. Now data type 2 and data type 3 both are in the table. Now, and both item against count, item versus count kind of thing. And then for data type 2, the item are single, they are not in a range of numbers. But if we go to data type 3, they are in a range of numbers. It's very important for you to watch this video and then before following us for the next one, because there we are going to, for data type 1, how do we use the 2 for it? Data type 2, how do we use for the data type 3? So if you are using this language of data type 1, data type 2, data type 3 in those videos, you can relate, right? If you enjoy this video and you have gotten a better understanding and you are going to do this exercise by identifying the data types in your textbooks, then like our video, give your comment that you have done it, and then also subscribe so that you can stay with us as we build on this concept. Can you watch every video that we post? There was an introduction video before this one. You have to follow us systematically so that you can build the concept along as we are building this. Thank you very much and see you in the next video, and I hope that you know your data types next time.